Yeah. Since 2019, we've been building mindset and purpose. For real estate agents, entrepreneurs, leaders, people becoming more than they were yesterday.
Monday through Friday we rise. We win the morning, we win the mind. Faith over fear, pressure into purpose. Confidence built through the work. Something good is gonna happen to me. Something good is gonna happen to me. I don't need all the answers, I just need belief. Becoming who I'm called to be. Making impact bigger than me. God first, doubt steps back. When it gets heavy, we figure it out. You're not here by accident, you're part of the story. Stepping strong, stepping faith. Let's get your mindset right.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Say happy morning in the chat. Say happy morning in the chat. Just go to it. Colin's here this morning at 4:15 in the morning, Alaska time. Say happy morning to Colin. Say happy morning to Colin. He's got his big book release. Heather, congratulations to you. It's good to see you back as well. I was thinking about you the other day. I was like, I haven't seen Heather. And then I saw your Facebook. I was like, well, that would make sense. She's at a graduation. So good morning to you all. Say happy morning in the chat. D, it's good seeing D again. We're on the prayer call. For those of you on the prayer call, get it in your calendar, 7:30 Eastern time. It kind of is what's kind of sets the stage going into the mindset show of what we pray about and what we talk about. So today's topic is being overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is today's topic. So for those of you taking notes, if you don't normally take notes, maybe you're not overwhelmed. But if you are overwhelmed, I'm going to strongly suggest you grabbing a pen and paper today, because I'm going to give you 10 things today that I've been studying, looking at. I got my notes here, Fran. I got my notes right here as I am driving safely. But yeah, it has been one of those days or those weeks of trying to, because I normally don't have my kids on this week, but I've had them for the last probably I think 9 days, 10 days. So I'm gonna share with you a little bit how I woke up this morning and where it all escalated to. So before we do that, before we get into that, we know that it's all David's driving. David told me he's driving too. I always like it when some of you text me and you kind of like let me know what you got going on. They're like, Brock, I just want you to know I'm driving. I might have to leave early. I got some people telling me what they got going on. Like, that's pretty cool, I have to say. Thank you that it's important to you, and I do appreciate it, because I always like to know where people go. Like, sometimes people will leave at 8:30 and then they'll text me and they'll be like, Brock, I had to go and do this. And so I like that. So thank you for those that to share that with me. But let's get into our wonderful affirmation that we say. You know the rules. Everybody's got to come off of mute. If you say profanity, we just try to ask you to whisper it. We just ask you to whisper the profanity. But for everybody else, I want you to say loud and proud, like you really mean it, that this is your day, that maybe something inside of you, you're feeling overwhelmed. We're just going to let it all release right here. So on the count of three, we're all off of mute and we're all saying it together. 1, 2, and 3.
Something good is going to happen through me. Something good is going to happen through me.
All right. Now, I know that there's more than 13 people on here, and some people do not say happy morning. They did not say good morning on here because even though I'm driving I still look at it. Some of you are going to get excited because you're going to be so excited to say that you're going to forget to go off of mute, and then you'll scream something like I was the prayer call. They probably could tell a little bit, but Bryce was driving me crazy because he kept crying this morning. Because you want to know why he was crying this morning, everybody? Because I was struggling to get this together. Oh, I am mute. So I was trying to get the lunches together, Fran. And I was a little delayed because we weren't on our normal schedule because I had to be on the prayer call. And he couldn't find his Encrustable. He could not find the Encrustable. So he thought that I wasn't going to give him an Encrustable. And so we had a little bit of some chaos going on that you want to understand, or you want to, if I could talk, share with you all something, is he kept focusing on the problem, that he couldn't find the Encrustable, and we're going to be talking about that today. Now, I'm going to ask everybody, well, I guess I'm going to do this. I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to go into my house, but if I go into my house, there's going to be like a little short reprieve because when it connects from my Bluetooth over into my house. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to park over here, and then I'm going to get myself in a better position. But to go back to Bryce's story, he kept focusing on the Uncrustable. And here's how God works. This is what makes it very fascinating, because for those on the prayer call, remember we talked about, like, we focus and we think about all our problems, which makes us overwhelmed, which builds the anxiety. Here he is at 7 years old. He was focused on the Uncrustable. And why I think that's such an important lesson is because adults, we focus on nonsense as well. We focus on situations and challenges and different things that we come up with this anxiety, this fear. And that's what they say. It's like the fear and anxiety of all the things we think about, like literally only 10% of it really happens. Yes, stuff takes place, but 90% of the time it's all up here in our head and we resonate and we go crazy over this stuff. So I'm about to park because I got to pull out my notes. I always like to have my notes. All right, everybody. Now my daughter now is going to be like, where's Dad? Dad said to be ready at 8:45. Where's he at? He's not here. But see, the difference between a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old is the 13-year-old doesn't care. She's just like, oh, maybe I don't have to go to school today. I don't know. Maybe I get the day off. That's typically what happens over in my world, which a lot of you already know that. All right. So let us get into today. So how many of you drop a 5 in the chat? You know me, Peter. I like the 5s. Put a 5 in the chat. Stephen Rust. Put a 5 in the chat if you felt overwhelmed at some point in your life. Okay, you might not ever feel overwhelmed today. You might be perfectly fine. If you are, I really need to talk to you because I got to figure out how you're handling that. How do you get to that position? But put a 5 in the chat if you've been overwhelmed in some capacity, in some way, at some time period of your life. So that way I have a little bit of an idea that maybe I'm talking to somebody on here who's been through what I'm going through at this very moment, so you can get a little bit of an idea. Dennis, I hope you're feeling better. Samuel, what's up, brother? Sarah, I had something I was going to show for Sarah too, but I don't have it. Good morning, Jamie. So here's the thing, Stephen. I woke up at 3:57. Why I wake up at 3:57 was something I decided on January 1st, that I was going to get up with a 3 in front of it. And so I'm not excited at 3:57. Let's just be point blank honest with you. I'm not like, it's not like, let me jump for joy. God bless Cullen, who's at 4:15 in the morning over there, Alaska time. Hats off to you, brother, for being here. We got Livia, who's in the United Kingdom, who's 6 or 7 hours ahead of us. We have people in Canada. We have people, really, I'm blown away at all the different parts of the time zones that we're in. But at 3:57 on the Eastern time zone, it's not a very exciting time for me. I'm not jumping for joy. There's nobody cheering for me. I don't have like a band. I don't have a DJ music going on. There's not a lot of people giving me high fives. It is like, it's one of those moments. It's like, damn, already this alarm's going off. Because I stayed up late to watch the hockey game. I like playoff hockey. And of course, the game went into overtime and Montreal won. And I was cheering for Buffalo. And so I knew I was going to be a little tired. What I didn't know, though, is that I was going to be blown out of the water with being overwhelmed. And a lot of it comes from choices that I've made. And a lot of it comes from things that I really wasn't expecting to take place. And so sometimes what happens to me, how many of you do this, that you're driving in your car, you're having a conversation with people, and you overpromise people that you're going to do something, or you're just like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. And what happens to me is I forget about it. So what their mother, Laura, my ex-wife, former wife, said to me a couple weeks ago, probably even more than that, maybe 2 months ago. This is what she does. She likes to do this. She's so advanced, and she'll be like, hey, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to need you to take care of the kids. Can you do it at that time? And I'm always just like, when? Like, it's in May. And it was like March. I was like, yeah, sure enough, it's not a problem at all. I can do that. Well, Brock forgets that he doesn't put it in his calendar. So those of you who think like I'm all calendar based, I am, but sometimes I forget to write things in my calendar. And having your children for 10 days in a row, balancing school and everything else is one of those important dates you probably should put in your calendar. Well, I didn't. And so Paul and I said that we were going to go golfing today. And that's an hour and 20 minutes away. And I had prayer call, and I had the mindset show. And then I told somebody today at 7 o'clock, if you guys want, I'll be on about coaching and teaching people how to do wholesale innovations. And I am a speaker for 90 minutes. And I was like, what was I thinking at 7 o'clock tonight, trying to do this and trying to go golfing and doing all. So my brain at 3:57, if anybody wants to be part of that Novations or wholesale, just put investor in the chat and I'll send you the link of what I'm doing. It's on Google Meets. There's like 60 or 70 people going to be on there. But I was just like, what am I doing? I'm like, I'm all over the place. I'm like trying to get myself it like lined up, and I was so overwhelmed this morning. And I knew I had to drop the kids off. I knew I had to be like, I have to travel an hour and a half. Like, this is how crazy it is all. I had to then tell Bryce, because I pick him up at 3:30, and I'm like, Paul, there's no way I can golf and be back by 3:30 to do the mindset show and get myself back over here. So I told, listen to this, Colin, you'll get a chuckle out of this one. I told Bryce this morning, and he doesn't like change, all. I told Bryce, I said, Bryce, I know you were supposed to be a car rider all week. Today, I need you to ride the bus home. And he's like, well, I've never rode the bus to your house, Dad. I know. I need you to ride the bus to Mom's house. But Dad, Mom's not home. I know, Bryce. But I just need to basically find a babysitter for 40 minutes because I know how long it takes for you to get from school to Mom's house on the bus, and I need to buy a little bit more time. Guys, do you understand how many of you are balancing so many different things? Put a 10 in the chat, because I know in some capacity how many of you, and I know it sounds crazy, but you're balancing different things. You're trying to do this job and get this deal and do this AI and all this stuff. And this is the real world that we live in. Because like Coach Sonona said, we are racing around 100 miles an hour trying to figure out everything. And as I was waking up this morning, how many of us, put a 7 in the chat, are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired and how much AI they're supposed to do? and how much Claude I'm supposed to look at, and what Chat GPT I'm supposed to do, and what AEO I'm supposed to look at, and what SEO I'm supposed to do, and how many of these things are going to be automated, and look at these 10 prompts, and let me do this over here, and if you follow this plan over here, you're going to get this. How many of you go? And I be honest, because I do it on purpose. And I say, put a me in the chat or put a prompt in the chat. And you're like, I got to get his prompts because he knows the right way to do it. And guess what? I'm doing the same thing on another person's channel to understand what they're doing. And we're doing prompting ourselves out of like chaos. Put a me in the chat if I'm talking to you right now. Put a me in the chat if it's like, oh my God, is he like on my phone? Is he in my head? It's like I'm trying to like go through all this. And that's overwhelming. And that's what we do to ourselves. When I said to you all, like, who wants to make $600,000? And I sent you the video. How many of you looked at the video and said to yourself, damn, I already knew that. I was hoping that he would give me something simple. I was hoping that he would give me an easier answer. What do you mean I got to get 25 contacts a day? That's what I'm supposed to do? And then we go down this whole conundrum, this whole thing. And we focus on all our lack, and we focus on our problems, and we focus on why we can't do it. Getting ready to do a post. I want you to write this down. Intentional versus committed. Intentional versus committed. I was really intentional about working out. Just talk about health. And in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I asked my health coach to come on. I just finally hit my goal, and I lost 21 pounds. And when people say you lost 21 pounds, you were already in shape. No, I wasn't. I was just eating pasta like no other. I wasn't really doing the cardio like I should. And I didn't realize it until I watched my videos in the Philippines. And I said to myself, you're kind of a little bit of a fat ass. Like you really are carrying a little bit more weight than you should. Like here you are trying to pretend you're working out all the time and showing videos because I was intentional. I was going to the gym. On the outside, you would think that I was all like about it. But I wasn't committed until I said, you know what? I got to step into this. I got to really focus in on being committed with my weight. I got to watch my diet. I got to get a coach. I don't say this because I'm a coach, but many of you on here don't really get the difference between really being intentional versus committed. Commitment is getting a coach. Commitment is getting a mentor and being all in. It costs money. It costs time. It changes your frequency of your routine. But that's what happens, and you get real results. And it doesn't happen overnight. It took me 3.5 months because those stupid Facebook posts, they say, try this, and in 3 weeks, you'll be like this. No, it's not. It doesn't happen that way. You got to work at it every freaking day. Indeed, this message goes to you and for everybody else on there. I've had the worst first quarter in real estate, probably in my career. I've worked harder in my first quarter than I ever had in real estate. I spent more money in the first quarter of my real estate than I ever have. And I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. Working on VAs, working on AI, working on systems, working on processes, because I don't want to work this hard the rest of my life. How many of you, drop a 3 in the chat, that you are tired of working so hard that you don't want to do this the rest of your life? How many of you don't want to work this hard the rest of your life? How many of you are tired of chasing money? And that was me. I kept chasing money and chasing it. And on January 1st, I decided that I was going to create systems and processes. And just like that, I had to go through a whole plan. Just like I told you about being intentional versus committed on my weight, I had to make a defining moment, draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough, and I got to go do this over here. And I said, no more excuses. I don't care how much it costs, how many hours I have to work. I was doing an interview with the VA, and she's like, what are your kind of real estate hours? I said, you don't want to ask me that question. I said, I'm different right now. I'm in a growing season. How many of you are in a growing season? How many of you want to be in a growing season? Put grow in the chat. If you're like, I need to grow, I need to freaking get my tail out of my hiney and I need to grow, but I'm scared shitless on what it is going to do. And it becomes overwhelming. And when you get overwhelmed, what happens is we freeze. And I had a defining moment. And I've been going through this. But I'll say this to you, D, and anybody else, because I heard it. And it was me. I wanted to quit. I wanted to be like, you know what? Maybe there's something else out there. Maybe there's got to be an easier way, because I really don't feel like doing all these videos that Justine does. I mean, AI is great, but it's just like I'm overwhelmed with AI. Oh, I'm overwhelmed with how many stupid Facebook Lives I got to do. I'm overwhelmed that I put all these posts out and I'm getting 16 people to like it, 2 people that send me a comment. I'm like, this is BS. I know I'm talking to somebody because they probably are feeling the same way I felt for the last 5 months. Not 5 hours, not 5 weeks, 5 months I've been feeling this. And I kept saying, there's that, I talked about it earlier today in the prayer call. There's that Silent Prayers is the name of the song. And I forgot the name already, Sherry. Who is on there? What's the guy's name that's the singer, country singer? Shambuzi and what was the Jelly Roll? Thank you, Sherry. Jelly Roll. And John Hart, what he talks about showing up. And when I share this to Dee, because Dee was vulnerable and said it, and she's got thick skin, she can handle it. How many of you are tired? How many of you are like, I don't know how much I can keep going on, and I'm just tired of keep going on, and it's just like, it's got to be something. That was me for a long, it still is me. Nothing's really, well, yesterday I had a defining moment. It was because I was just getting sick and tired of it. And I was just like, I don't know how much more. And then I hear other people, I don't do anything. I just got 17 deals. It's the greatest quarter of my life. I got this going on. I got this going on. And yeah, I thought being an adult would be a lot easier. And all this stuff. I'm like, what? I wanted to like throw things. And I was so pissed. I was just like, I'm working 12 to 14 hours a day. I'm spending money. And I just am like, oh, and I go to victimhood. Put a me in the chat if you go to victimhood. Put a me in the chat. It's like, woe is me. Oh my God, God's out to get me. I can't believe this. My prayers aren't being answered. Maybe I need to pray harder. Maybe I'm not saying the right prayer. Maybe I need to go to church more. All these things come into my head. Yesterday, I ended up getting, I can't even make this stuff up, 6 deals yesterday. 4 listings, 2 buyers, and 4 of them came out of the blue. I don't say this to impress you by any means. I say this to you, and I gave you my whole thing, is that I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I'm mentally drained. I'm balancing kids left and right, soccer practice. Oh, and by the way, everybody thought it was a really great idea that I become the soccer coach for Bryce's team. So now I'm the soccer coach of a bunch of 7-year-olds, which is pretty entertaining in itself, of me trying to coach 7-year-olds, thinking that they're all in high school and college. So if you want a good laugh, come to Strikers at 5:30 on Wednesday. I'm crazy. I brought a Fox 40 whistle because that's how I coach. Bryce is like, what's that? I'm like, I'm blowing the whistle in the house. You over there, get over here. The kids are like going crazy. But that's how I am. I don't care if you're 7 years old or you're 27. I'm going to coach you and I'm going to give you everything that I have. I was like, Bryce, I'm bringing the whiteboard. I'm going to show you guys what you need to do. Whether you pay attention to me or not, that's up to you. It's the same thing with coaching adults. You can either believe me, you can lean into me, or you could do something. But I'm going to give you everything I got. And just like it was this first quarter, I'm going to give everything I possibly have. And some of you today need to keep pouring into yourself. You need to keep working on yourself. You need to keep showing up every freaking day. Because at some point, just like yesterday, I almost broke down crying when somebody was just like, hey, could you help us with this listing? I was like, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. But see, that's how God works. He has to test you. He has to make you feel overwhelmed. You have to think about every problem that you possibly have in your life, because that's where we feel comfortable. And then he's like, you done? You done doing that? I'm being honest with somebody right now. Are you done bitching, whining, and complaining? Because I'm not any different. But the moment you decide to transform and change and to show up when it's not fun, when it's tiring, when everybody's against you. Like, I got family members. Y'all know my mom. She wants to keep me safe. Brock, you're tired. I can see it on your face. No, you can't, Mom. You're just saying that because that's what moms do. Like, my face doesn't really look any different. No, I can really see it. My dad came over. My dad never comes over. And he comes, Brock, I got a prayer for you. I got a prayer for you. I cut it out. And I don't like texting it to you, but I just want to get you this prayer. And I love my parents. I think you're depressed. Brock. I'm like, oh God, here we go. I was like, okay. And I got to go through this process. See, as a parent, we see in our children. And so as I'm seeing my dad, I started to think, I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not depressed, but I got a lot of shit going on, to be honest with you. But I'm not one of those people that are just going to open up because my parents got enough problems on their hands. But I share this with you, Chet. I share this with you, Brian. I share this with you, Livia. I share this with you that if you just understand the overwhelm is part of the process, it's okay. It's okay to be broke. It's okay to be overweight. It's okay to be beaten. It's okay to be broken. All these things need to happen. Because, see, they don't happen to you. They happen for you. And the moment that you understand that, the moment that you understand and focus on the solutions and focus on God, is the moment that things start to transform in your life. That today, at 9 o'clock, whatever time, I get my tail to bed. I always, when I get in my bed, I said, made it. And I say, thank you, God. Those are the two things I always say. Because I'm going to be fine. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. But I got to say that there's a good chance, no matter how hard, no matter what I go through today, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. Number 10, I'm going to give these all to you because I didn't do a very good job labeling them for y'all. I'm going to put this in the Facebook group, the Brock Zevan's Mindset Motivational Facebook group. But I'm reading number 10. The only thing you truly can control is your attitude. Your attitude sets your altitude. So whether it's my mom, my dad, Cullen, whoever it is, Brielle, Mike Kastner, I control my altitude, my attitude. I control whether or not I'm going to show up. People are going to come from love, comfort, whatever it might be. But every day I get a choice. I get a choice to control my attitude every single day, no matter what happens. And guess what? There's going to be far worse problems that are going to happen to me. At some point, I'm going to hear the news that my father passes, and I have to go through that. My mom's going to, like, Jim Rohn says, thing that's true, that's guaranteed in life is death and taxes. And you're going to have to deal with it, just like I have to deal with it. So today, all, if you got something out of today, I want you to put a heart in the chat, put a me in the chat, put a 5 in the chat, that if it resonated with you in some capacity, in some way, if you're tired of playing small, I know that my summer camp program for $200 a week is expensive. Hell, I have to pay it twice for each one of these wonderful children that I have. But I'm telling you, if you want to transform your life, if you want to have me in your corner for an entire week of nonstop being relentless to help you from getting up in the morning to devotions and making calls and doing all this shit you don't want to do, then you give me 1 week. You put summer camp in the chat, and I will personally call you and figure out a plan for you. And it's 1 hour every single day. So it's not like the normal coaching on a Thursday. It's every hour of the day. You're going to have to deal with me, but there's a cost associated to it because there's got to be pain and there's got to be value for what I do. It's $200 a week, but it's the same camp that I pay for these kids to go play freaking hopscotch and jump rope. But this is going to transform your life. I'm going to share with you my health, what I do. So if it's interesting you can either DM me or put summer camp in the text or in the chat, and I'll reach out to you. Starts next Monday, which is Memorial Day, and Chet's going to be here leading us even on Memorial Day, because we always show up, right? So guys, it is 8:47. Damn, I gotta go. I gotta bring Brielle to school. Brielle's gonna be looking for me. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Let's see how many. We had over 100 chats today, so I love it. Guys, I appreciate you all so much. God bless you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you guys have. I will talk to you. For those of you who are going to be with me tonight at 7 o'clock, you put investor in there. We'll make sure that we get to you. Go to my YouTube channel. Go to Brock Zevan's YouTube. Go to the Brock Zevan's Mindset Motivational. I'll give you my 10 things that I did so you can see it. I appreciate y'all. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:15 Eastern Time. Till then, see ya.